What's up, sausages?
I need an apple pie.
Oh my god, I was just thinking after this we have to go get snacks.
I've really been craving an apple pie for probably a week now.
Okay, you literally just got one like 3 days ago because you got me one.
No, that's like a gas station McDonald's style apple. I'm talking about a full fucking like Dutch apple pie, and I got to get some kind of vanilla ice cream to go on it.
Wait, did I? But I just realized I said hi to you when we started and you just said, I need apple pie. You didn't even say hi.
Because certain things are more important than.
Nice, nice greeting. Oh, God. Well, no, I was thinking I've been craving like crunchy saltiness all day. I need chips. I need Pringles. I need something.
Well, what are you going to do about that?
I'm going to come get your dumbass and we're going to go to 7-Eleven.
In the cold? You're going to come out in the cold?
Yes.
And then I'm going to have to go in and do all the errands because you're not going to put yourself together to go to the 7-Eleven.
I mean, it's going to be like midnight by then. I'll fucking go in.
By midnight, who the fuck cares?
There's going to be nobody there. I need a Slurpee. I need a Red Bull. I got an article to write.
You got to look good at all times because you never know when you're going to meet the special someone.
Already met him. He's on the couch next to me with 4 legs and a lot of hair. And he's a dog.
You could walk into the 7-Eleven and meet the person of your dreams eating a chili dog and
Eat a chili dog.
a 7-Eleven chili dog.
Well, remember we went to that 7-Eleven with that handsome guy who was ringing people up. I guess that would be the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Someone eating those hot dogs that's been on a roller for like 6 months.
We should dip by there again, see if that guy still works there.
You don't need to stop. You can just tell if the parking lot is full. Oh, the most,
He had
most handsome man in the world is working.
Where was it at? Was it on Southfield and something?
No, it was on Coolidge off of 11 Mile.
Okay, I didn't know you've been there 8 times since we went. Sorry.
I haven't. I just know all of the 7-Elevens.
So going back to our last episode, the debacle, I put a sheet on my car and thought I was going to pull all the snow off my car. And oh, guess what? I'm like, honestly, on a scale, like really though, when you told me it wasn't going to work, did you really think it was not going to work as much as it didn't work?
Absolutely.
I didn't. It was so bad.
Here's the thing. You had multiple disappointments because like I didn't have any because I knew that it was going to stick and I knew that I was probably going to have to help remove it. And so everything that I thought was fine. But you had multiple disappointments because you first thought that your car was going to be not covered in snow. That's a good one to think about. Then you thought, I'm going to do something really cool, like Houdini all of the snow off of my car. And you were like, Tenney's going to be wrong. So you had 3 things to look forward to, and they all fucking failed.
Legit. It was so, I've never seen something stuck on something so fucking bad. Like, I struggled for about 35 minutes to get it over my windows to get a door open because I put the sheet over my car, which created a frozen dome over all 4 doors. So I couldn't get a single door open. And then I did this on Instagram Live. And somebody in the chat was like, go in the trunk. I'm like, genius. So I had to crawl in my own fucking trunk, start the car to like loosen it enough to pull it up. And then, so I get it partially up and I'm like, I have to fucking go to work tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do? So somebody in the chat was like, drive to Tenney's. And I'm like, I will drive to Tenney's. So with like the sheet frozen over most of my car, I just drove to your house. And everybody's like, don't get arrested. I'm like, nobody's gonna see me. And then I drove to your house and crawled up on your porch on Instagram Live and I banged on your door and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, you have to help me get the sheet off my car. And you're like, turn your phone off. I'm like, no, they've been along for the whole journey. I'm not letting them go now. So you got dressed, you put your little hat on, you came outside and ripped the sheet off my car and yeah, it went really horribly. And for the last fucking, 3-4 days since that happened, I've had to put Neosporin on the fucking end of my nose because I legitimately think I got frostbite because I was trying to rip a sheet off my car.
Oh, you did not get frostbite.
No, I did a little bit, I swear, and the end of my nose is like raw.
You are a hypochondriac.
You're a hypochondriac.
I am a hypochondriac. I admit it.
I know you are.
That thing was holding onto your car the way freshmen hold hands.
I loosened it a lot.
You did, but I had the leverage for it.
You did. You had the leverage. And it looks great. Everybody else is driving around with their car just like, fucked with snow. And I'm like, mine looks good now. Yeah, it didn't go well.
No, but it's something to think back about. 2022. Things to remember.
Yes.
Lessons learned.
Yes. And then, like, a couple days ago, we went to the post office and you were in there for roughly 87 minutes. And then you came out. And
I walked out of that. I've gone to that post office my whole life, but I have never experienced in this modern day and age. I was 8th in line. 6 or 7 of the people in front of me all were just carrying loose items and did not have them in envelopes or boxes. They did not have tape. They did not have stamps. Like, a guy in front of me had just a book. I thought he was like carrying a book and was there to pick up some mail. And then he walks up to the counter and he sets it down. And he's like, I have to mail this. And the lady was like, it has to go in an envelope. And he's like, well, I don't have an envelope. And should I put it in a box? And and I was like, this is a full grown man in a business suit. What the fuck is going on? Everyone has lost their goddamn minds. What little minds they had left is completely gone.
Like, I literally would have shamed him. I think if I was behind him, I'd have been like, you don't know how to mail? You're fucking 42.
He was older. He was at least my age or older, in a suit, and did not know how to mail a fucking book.
First of all, every time I go to that post office is just infuriating because there's always somebody like that. And then they have to step out of line and do whatever. But
there was the one lady who was working there that knew what was going on. I was sending our packages out and she scanned the first box and she looks at me and she goes, Tenney. And I go, yeah, how'd you know my name? Do we know each other from somewhere? And she's like, no, your P.O. Box 2107. It gets all the weird shit.
I know where they're like every day. Everybody else with P.O. boxes there must get no mail.
So funny.
But yeah, no, one of my biggest pet peeves ever is when people don't fucking listen, or I give step-by-step instructions to something and they don't fucking listen. So I'm trying to catch up on all my work messages and emails. And last night I go on my stupid work Facebook page and there's like a whole inbox of messages that I just never got alerted to. It didn't alert me at all. In no way. No push notification, no notification on Facebook, just nothing. So I opened it and I wrote kind of a stock message like, this messenger doesn't ever alert me to messages. If you'd like to book with me, write to my email address or to my Instagram DMs, blah, blah, blah. So literally 7 out of the 8, whatever it was, 9 out of 10, I don't fucking remember. But most of the people followed fucking directions. And then this one person in there just continues to write their questions like they didn't even fucking read what I just wrote. So I'm like, okay, so I put a quote in there, $100 more than it usually is. Suck it. Like, maybe you should fucking read. Like, I don't feel bad. Like, I literally just said, don't write back in here, and you wrote back with your stupid questions. When I said, it's not going to tell me that you wrote back. And it didn't. I just happened to check. So now they can give me $100.
Well, I was going to ask you about this too, and since you brought up email, I think Google changed something this year because I have a massive amount of normal mail going in my spam mailbox.
Oh, yeah, me too. I do. I keep finding appointment emails in there.
Yeah, I think they changed something about how they mark or tag emails because now checking my spam box is now part of my daily checking my email.
Me too. Also, this is really stupid, but infuriates me every time. And I don't know if it does it to you or if it's just an iPhone thing, but you know when you're trying to log in to Gmail on your computer, does it send a little thing to your phone?
I have it set up so it does.
Yes. So listen, the thing that annoys me so bad is when it does that thing, pops up on your phone and goes, are you trying to sign in over here? And you say, then the screen pops up. It says no and then yes. In what universe is yes second? Nowhere. Nowhere. Yes is first, always. So I always almost hit the wrong fucking button. It's like, yes should be first, not second. It drives me up. Who made that? Okay, anyway, so I watched the Tinder Swindler today on Netflix.
Yeah, was that good? I listened to the Web Crawlers episode about it.
Well, see, this is what happened. When they did an episode on the Beanie Babies documentary, and I listened to their episode first, and it was so fucking good, and it was so funny. And then I watched the doc, and it was fucking terrible. I'm like, their episode was way better than this. I wish I didn't watch this. So this time, I'm like, if I listen to their episode first, they're going to be better than the doc, and it's going to ruin it for me. So this time I watched the doc first, and now I got to listen to Web Crawlers. But anyway, It was really good. That guy's fucking crazy. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a new like little movie documentary thing on Netflix about this guy who like basically scammed a bunch of ladies and acted like he was rich and took them on dates and took them on flights and stuff. But like
he was just spending their own money.
Yeah, he was spending other people's money with different people and just going around in a circle so they didn't figure it out. And then eventually they fucking figured it out. But like,
oh my God, that fucking squeaky toy.
I'm sorry, get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, it was good. It was sad.
You just made it worse. What did you do?
I threw it.
Now he thinks you want to play.
You gotta stop. Can you get a silent one? Here, get this one. I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, go bite it. All right, anyway. Yeah, that guy, it was crazy. And those ladies have like a GoFundMe now. Apparently they lost upwards of $600,000.
So crazy. Have you ever used Tinder?
No.
I haven't either.
But their GoFundMe, surprisingly, I'm surprised they've gotten anything, because like who's gonna watch it and be like, oh my God, they're like not destitute. I mean, they are, but it's like, you know what I mean?
I think that guy's Instagram account was up until like a week ago.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Well, yeah, it goes through like he got barely punished and they never got any of their money back. He's like, I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know, whatever, but you guys should watch it. It's fucking nuts. Don't you? He got another one. I'm so sorry. Because he slept while we were watching the thing and now he's crazy. You gotta get one that doesn't squeak, please. Okay, so yeah. So moral of the story is well, okay, the thing that he did was he would like take them on like 1 or 2 trips and then like spoil them for a while. And then he would say, I want you to be my girlfriend. I want you to move in. So they would think they were in a committed relationship. And then right around there, he like did some crazy shit. Like he would fake an attack and like send them bloody photos. And then he'd be like, I'm in trouble. I have to stop using my own credit cards because then my enemies will find me. And then he would say, just let me use your credit card for like 2 weeks. And then in those 2 weeks, using one lady's credit card would spoil the next lady.
It's so crazy.
It's wild, dude. And the guy's like tiny, like somebody's gonna beat his ass, like for real. And he's like, I feel like he's pretty noticeable looking. Like he's not gonna be able to just hide out.
This is a part of what I was talking about at the post office. People have lost their minds. If you start dating someone and like within 2 weeks, they have enemies who are going to kill them and they need your credit card number, you're not really in a relationship.
No, you're probably not dating. No. And even, I don't know, maybe I watched too much Catfish. I'm sure I watched too much Catfish, but he would do stuff like, here's where I am, and like drop his Google location. So they'd be like, oh, he's at this fancy hotel, or oh, he's in Spain. It's like anybody could do it. I could do that right now. I'm not there, you know? I don't know.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
It was a good watch though. I love that shit. That's what I did today.
I've never used a dating app.
I haven't either. I wanted to, just to like look at it, but I can't do it. I don't want anybody else to see me on there because I don't really want to date anybody.
I got contacted by an ex of mine. Who, this is probably 10 years ago, but I got contacted by an ex of mine who found me on a dating site, but it was someone using a picture of me and like the bio from my website.
No, you never told me that.
Yeah. Well, like, what are you going to do if the person wants to show up?
Well, that's those people that probably have this, like, oh, I'm trying to get to a convention. Can you send me $20? And people probably do it.
Oh, yeah, true.
Dang. Oh. Swindlers. He just ripped the squeaky one out of my hand. You gotta get a different one. I should just give him my snow boot and let him bite on it so I can get through this. Oh, I saw saying that TikTok. I saw a TikTok about this kid. I'm sorry, I didn't know this. I didn't know this was common knowledge, but this kid, he has a TV remote, or this lady has a TV remote, and it takes AA batteries, and all they have in the house is AAA batteries. So they put a little blob of tinfoil at the end of the battery to make it like longer, to make it like fit. You have to put it on the flat side, not the side with the bump. And they put it in both sides of the battery, and it freaking worked.
Yeah, it's just extending the battery.
Yeah,
I think I told you on a DM. I've seen people do it where they take 3 AA batteries and they use tinfoil to turn it into a D battery.
That's insane. I always have the wrong batteries.
I only use rechargeable batteries now.
Okay, for like 2 months. You're not better than me.
Well, in the past 2 months, I am.
I do have to get one, though, because I have a bunch of LED little light strands around here, and the batteries die so fucking fast. And if I just had some on the charger, I could just switch them out.
Yes, you could.
Dummy. I'm a dummy. The Super Bowl's this weekend.
It is?
Yes!
I have no idea. That's sports. How do you know I don't know anything about sports?
I don't know. Sometimes you have weird sports stories. I don't fucking know.
I really don't.
You don't have one Super Bowl story.
Super Bowl story?
Or I don't know.
No, not at all. The last time I went to a baseball game, I think was 2008.
This is going to be called the non-Super Bowl episode of What's Up, Weirdo.
Yeah.
I only have one Super Bowl story. Like, I think it was, when was that? It was a long ass time ago. I don't fucking remember. But the Super Bowl was here one year, and I was younger, and Jimmy Kimmel did his show from here at the Gem Theater, and I still don't remember how, but I got tickets. So I went, me and my friend from high school went to see Jimmy Kimmel, and we sit down. And when you go to those shows, like I've been to David Letterman, I've been to wherever, you don't know who the guest is until you're in your fucking seat. You have no idea. So we sit down. The guest that came out was Jessica Alba. And I think the musical guest was the Four Tops. It was like Detroit shit. So it was fun. So then after the show, we walked to like some Irish bar down there. I don't remember. I don't even know.
Irish bar in Michigan? Get out of here.
I know. I don't even think we were old enough to drink. We were just trying to get food. So we were sitting at a table, and like it was one of those instances where it was like the Super Bowl weekend. So no place you could even get into because people were just hanging out down there. So we sit at a table, and these two kids that looked like out of place like came up, and they're like, "Do you care if we share the table with you? There's like no room, whatever." And we're like, "Yeah." So they're like, "What do you do?" And we're like, "I don't know. I don't even fucking know how long ago this was." And we were just making small talk, and they're like, "Well, we work for Jimmy Kimmel, so," and we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So they're like, "Well, we're just trying to get some food, but then we're gonna go to like an after party for like the Super Bowl and like Jimmy Kimmel. Do you want to go?" We're like, yeah. So we just like go off with these strangers. It's the fanciest. I don't even know how this building existed in Detroit, but it was, come on. But it was like a high rise in Detroit. So we go up this elevator into like a nondescript building with a bunch of windows. The elevator opens into a room full of people. George Clinton and Funkadelic were on the stage, just playing this random like loft. Everybody in there was like fancy looking, had like crazy clothes on, and then like there was free drinks everywhere. You just picked up drinks and drank. There was like fire twirlers and shit in the room. I'm like, what how did we fucking get? We just like were like cackling. How the fuck did we get in here for free? And then like I don't remember much because I'm pretty sure we got loaded. I don't even remember. Oh wait, did I get pulled over on the way home? I think I got pulled over. Anyway, but I remember distinctly we were waiting to go to the bathroom, and the fucking Black Eyed Peas were like right outside the bathroom. And I'm like, none of this is real. It didn't make any sense. And like, I remember, I want to say we had curfews or something, but at some point we had to go, and we just did the dip and like left. And we're like, nobody's ever going to believe us that any of that happened, but it happened. That was sweet.
So funny.
I know. It was dope. I wish the Super Bowl would come back here,
But that has nothing to do with the Super Bowl, really.
Oh, it sure doesn't. Oh, it doesn't have to do with the Cincinnati Bengals, or I don't even remember who else was in the Super Bowl. So,
did you play sports when you were a kid?
Yeah, I played softball. I was a pitcher, and I played second base, and I think that's all. Played softball.
Yeah. I didn't play any sports whatsoever. I literally have had zero interest in sports my whole life.
Yeah.
There was the one year that the Tigers won the World Series. I was interested in the Tigers. I was probably, I don't know what, like 11 or something like that when they won. So I was interested in the Tigers for 1 year. I never played any sports in junior high, elementary school, or high school. Nothing.
Yeah.
And everybody that I knew that was into sports beat me up. So it made me like, why do I even want to deal with these people?
I know. I remember I played like just like summer league shit, and my dad would coach and all my friends would play. But I remember when I got to high school, I like didn't want to play on that level. Like I didn't want to have to go to practices. I didn't want to have to like, like excel or like, oh, like I want to go to college and play fucking stuff. Like, no, I just wanted to have fun and drink juice boxes. Like,
I think I might have told you once, the only thing I did. So I was getting chased by the football team one time after school, and the track coach saw me. And he called me into his office. He was also in charge of detentions and suspensions, the same guy, the coach was. And he called me in his office the next day, and he said, "So I saw the football team chasing you across the football field yesterday after school. Were they trying to beat you up?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I saw you outrun our running back, and you were wearing combat boots. Have you ever put on track shoes?" He goes, "Do you know I'm the track team captain?" And I said, "No, I didn't know that." And he said, "I want to put you in some track shoes and see you run like the dashes and see how fast you are. And so I was faster than every person they had on the track team. He put me on the track team immediately. We had a track meet the next day. I won my races and then got caught smoking behind the bleachers and kicked off the team.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's kind of the best way to just get in and get out anyway. It's not like you wanted to do that shit anyway. That's so funny. And like, sorry, I run fast because people were fucking chasing me. It's not the same when I'm doing it for free, like for nothing.
The other thing is too, I think about it to this day, and it's like, I'm sure that track coach was probably younger than I am now. And if I would have met a kid who was faster than all my other runners on the track team, if I was a 30-year-old coach for high school kids and I found like the fastest kid in the school somehow in some teen movie film way, found the fastest kid in the whole school, I'm not kicking him off the team for smoking.
No.
I'm going to turn that into a John Hughes film. I'm going to take him to national championships. Yeah. And he's going to wear his Misfits shirt and cross the finish line, and everybody's going to do a slow clap, and finally everybody will love John Tenney.
Yeah, they had Danny Zuko do track in Greece, and he smoked and shit.
Oh, that's right. I could have been the real life Danny Zuko.
Could have been.
Minus Scientology.
Yeah. And weird hair plugs.
Weird hair plugs.
I know.
We were talking about Joel McHale's weird hair plugs.
I know. I said, because Joel McHale has a new commercial for Planters Peanuts, and it looks like he has a fucking hat on. Like, it's a complete piece of new hair that goes down to a little semicircle on his forehead, and I'm like, this is so noticeable. And then I sent you it, and then you're like, I think it's one of those glue-on things, and I'm like, yeah, but doesn't he have enough money for plugs?
Those glue-on things are exactly what he's doing.
That's what it looks like it does.
Where they shave your head and then just glue the piece on, and then because your hair grows underneath it, what little hair you have grows underneath that glue-on piece.
I don't think it would.
But it does. That's one of the things at the men's hair club that they tell you. Oh. Like, your hair will continue to grow. Like, as a man who was balding at a young age, trust me, I know all of what they do to people. I talked to places like, how do you restore hair loss? And every option is terrible.
Well, I know from I've only had extensions once in my life. And the parts of your head that you have extensions over, your hair doesn't grow the same rate that it normally does, because it's like you have a hat on. It's like, you know, like, so the hair under there wouldn't be growing normal rate.
It doesn't grow normal rate, but those hair flaps that people get glued on their head have to be replaced like every 4 months.
Yeah.
Because your hair gets like your scalp, all the oils build up and it can get moldy and you can get bacterial infections.
Yuck.
Yeah.
What's up, Joel McHale, and your moldy head?
I wonder if he ever covered his moldy head on Talk Soup.
Oh God! Weren't you on Talk Soup?
I was on. Ghost Stalkers was on Talk Soup every week that we had an episode that was on.
Yeah, why did he get obsessed with you guys? I remember that.
We won Clip of the Week like 3 weeks in a row.
Oh my God, I do remember that. I used to love Talk Soup.
It was so strange, but the thing was, it's Talk Soup started out really funny. Like, what was the guy's name? John, somebody who hosted it first.
Greg Kinnear.
Oh, it was Greg Kinnear, but there was a guy before that that hosted it. But
Talk Soup, the skinny guy.
Yeah,
with
but Talk Soup was really funny. But then, like, the last few years Joel McHale hosted it, it was just fucking mean.
Yeah,
like, it was not even snark; it was just insulting people.
Yeah,
insults from a guy who glues hair on his head.
Guess we're never gonna have Joel McHale on here.
You never know.
Yeah, like that UFC guy where I called him. Well, I said I didn't like him, and then he just called me and.
Yeah, you never know. Joel McHale might be a big What's Up Weirdo fan. He's like, oh, thank you guys for talking about my hair flap.
No, he's going to call and say what Dan Hooker said and be like, I heard you think I'm shit.
And I'll be like, yup.
Fucking the same character and everything, Joel McHale. I really don't give a shit. Sounds like we have a problem with him, but we don't have a problem with anybody.
I really don't have a problem with anyone.
No, we don't.
I don't have the time for it.
I don't either.
Who has the time? I was thinking about this the other day because we were talking about some Twitter stuff. And I was thinking to myself, can you imagine what Twitter, like how amazing Twitter would be if people put as much energy into their friends as they do, as the energy they put into people that they hate?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be crazy.
Yeah. I tried to just mute and move on. There was a pretty ugly thing going on the last couple of days in like MMA stuff because like one of the best fighters in the UFC, Israel Adesanya, he posted a picture of his nails painted, and it's like a lot of them paint their toenails. Who wants to have fucked up weird nails when you're fighting? And some loser posted some making fun of him. And like a lot of people under it were agreeing and be like, yeah, who the fuck would do that? And I'm like, that guy would take every girl that you have. So
I've never understood that type of stuff because, you know, I paint my toenails.
I know you do.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, how are there huge segments of society that are still upset? I saw your tweet today about like the woman who says she gets sick because she looks at tattoos. How are we still
physically ill when she sees tattoos?
How are we still at that point?
I don't know. I have never been out and seen what someone's doing with their own life and their own body and been like, well, this is my day's ruined. Like, who fucking cares? Literally, who fucking cares? I don't fucking care. That's not my experience. That's your experience. Have a nice day. I don't fucking care. God, just dry, horrible, ugly people.
And you know what else is crazy too? I think we've talked about this before. Like the other thing is people will get on Twitter and say like, I get physically sick when I look at tattoos. When was the last time you think that person probably saw someone that was doing something they liked and said like, that's a nice shirt. I like your hat. Those are cool shoes. Like people write full articles about the things that they hate. Mm-hmm. Yep. But how much better would it be if you I tell because I'm a hat person. So like when I'm at a grocery store or I'm out and I see someone with a good hat, like I let them know I like that hat. Mm-hmm. How hard is that to do?
I know. It's really a choice. It's like if you're a writer for a newspaper, you had a choice to sit down and write probably anything. And you wrote that. Joyless monsters. Not us.
I'm kind of joyless sometimes.
You are not. We're go outside, we're like a cricket. Cool.
That is true. I'm still trying to figure out where my peanut butter jar went. I put a jar of old peanut butter out on the deck the other day and I saw a squirrel inside of it eating it. And then I went out there a few hours later and the whole jar was a glass jar of peanut butter is gone. It's not in my backyard. It's not laying on the ground. It's not underneath my deck. It's gone. Somebody muscled up and some squirrel hulked that peanut butter jar away.
I can't believe, first of all, that you didn't just scoop the peanut butter out into a paper bowl or like a paper plate and put it outside. You just expected these animals to crawl in a jar and get all disgusting and then you're like, somebody took the jar. Like, weird. What did you fucking want them to do?
I thought because it was almost full, I thought that I would put it outside, it would freeze, and then birds would use it like a suet cake.
Until what? Then it got to the bottom, and then what do you think they're going to do? They're going to jump right in there.
I knew that the squirrels would probably jump in there, but I didn't think that they'd like organize a rally and like take the thing away.
It's somewhere. Somebody took it.
Right now, someone in my neighborhood is like, how did a peanut butter jar get in my tree?
Yeah, they can pull up their little head in there. Whatever. I don't know why this has been in my, I feel like this happened. Okay, where were we? Where we went, which actually airs not this weekend, but next weekend, I believe. The finale of Kindred Spirits that you're on. When we went there to that location, remember we were all hanging out in the lobby and we talked about weird shit all night?
Yes.
I have in my notes, Patterson-Gimlin death. What the fuck does that mean? What death?
Oh, probably I was talking about one of the reasons that I think that the really famous Bigfoot footage, the Patterson-Gimlin footage is real. Mm-hmm. So, it was filmed by two guys. It was filmed by Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson. That's why it's called the Patterson-Gimlin film. Uh-huh. And one of the reasons that I've told people that I think that it's real, no matter how many people say, oh, it's a person in a suit or whatever, is because Patterson died. And the last decade of Patterson's life, he did not get along with Bob Gimlin. They pretty much were enemies the last 10 years of their life. And on his deathbed, on Patterson's deathbed, he was asked if they faked the footage. And he said the footage was real. And so I point to that as one of the reasons why it still seems to me like real footage, because if you hated someone and wanted to fuck up their life and your life is ending, like you could say, even if it was real, you could say, no, that shit's fake. Bob's faking it. And then like, fuck him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, just mess up his coins forever.
Yeah. But he didn't. He said it was real. And so that was one of those things that because I always try and look at things from a human perspective, right?
Yeah.
And that just seems like a very human thing to do, is on your deathbed to be honest about shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I remember like not ever hearing that. That makes a lot of sense.
Like, I don't know why people on their deathbed would still be like, no, I'm dating a girl in France. Like, it's like,
just admit it was not real now.
Just admit it was not real.
And then another thing that we talked about when we were there was ectoplasm. Somebody wanted us to talk about ectoplasm. Why?
Were we talking about like how in the spiritualist days in the turn of the century, women were pulling cheesecloth out of their vaginas and calling it ectoplasm?
Well, I don't know if we were talking about that. In the pictures, it looks like it's coming out of their mouth. I didn't know it was coming out of their vaginas.
Well, that they had to have a place to hide it because they'd be searched when they first brought it in. So they would shove a bunch of material up inside of themselves, and that way it wouldn't get found. And then when the lights go off and you start to do a séance, you reach down and pull it out and jam it in your mouth or wherever you need it to come out of.
Okay, so are the lights off? Like, can people see it, or it just like ends up in the spirit photo thing?
Well, it ends up in the photo because the person will say, like, I'm manifesting ectoplasm, and then someone back then would take a photo that has a flash bulb, and so then you see the picture of it, you know?
Yeah, everybody has. If you've never seen one, just Google ectoplasm photos.
They did so many crazy things. One of the things they would do is they would take luminescent paint, glow-in-the-dark paint, and they would paint, like, faces on their feet, and then when the lights were out, they'd slip their foot out of the shoe, and they'd wave their foot around up above the table. And you'd see a little tiny glowing face manifested out of nowhere.
That's actually really smart.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. This hasn't, let me just interject with something. My famous tagline, this doesn't have anything to do with anything, but it does have to do with it. Anyway, the fucking hideous, horrible Bachelor that we have right now. I watched The Bachelor last night, and there was this fucking psychotic woman. So she's trying to tell this cute story. I was only half listening, right? So she tells some fucking stupid story about when she was young and her whoever's were outside catching fireflies, right? So she's like, we were like 5 or 6, so we didn't know what we were doing. So she said that they smashed all the fucking fireflies and wiped them on their face so that they would glow in the dark. I'm like, what a fucking serial killer. Like, who? That's like one of those stories you keep in your pocket, you weird bitch. Like, why? I was so tired. I'm like, I hope she loses now. That's fucking gross.
Who says stuff like that on camera?
Who says that? And like, I don't care what age I've ever been in my entire lifetime. I've always known that killing things was wrong. Killing things for no reason is wrong. I don't give a shit if you were fucking 5 or 6. And where were your parents? I just know you smash a bunch of bugs and rub them on your face. Yeah,
I had a cousin that killed bugs and small animals and always knew that it was wrong.
Yes. That's fucked up. I was so pissed. I'm like, what a weirdo. And he just like was sitting there smiling.
Like literally, my cousin was one of those kids that had a magnifying glass and would burn bugs with a magnifying glass.
No, I would like everything I ever found. I would want it to be my pet. I would always want to take care of stuff.
Oh, I always wanted to take care of everything.
Yes. My dad would make me little wooden enclosures like with a handle on the top with like screen, like from a screen door, and I would like carry a little friend around for the day that I found in the yard. That was literally not much has changed at all. Yeah, we never want to. But anyway, back to the ectoplasm.
That's all I really had to say about ectoplasm. It was just spiritualists were really thinking forward at the time, like, how can we hoax this stuff? And so like, I've got body cavities that aren't going to be checked. It's Victorian times. It's the turn of the century. Like nobody's going to check a woman's vagina or a man's asshole to see if they're hiding cheesecloth in there.
Nope.
And then if you're willing to hide that stuff inside your body, you're willing to put it in your mouth.
We'll just leave that there. That one there.
But I've seen people do all sorts of stuff to fake ghost things at allegedly haunted locations.
We went, where were we? At someplace we went that you always taught me how to look for like wires and little speakers when you go down the basement, there's like a top ledge around the basement, and we found like wires and speakers and shit in there before.
Yeah. Yeah. People will do stuff like that. I've seen people eat dry ice chips before.
That's poisonous. I watched a Mr. Ballin episode the other day with dry ice, and they threw it in a pool and everybody got poisoned. When you throw it in, when you get it warm, it turns into pure carbon dioxide. So if you put it in your mouth.
Yes. I'm talking about tiny little chips of dry ice.
Okay, really bad idea.
You can do a lot of things with dry ice that make it sound like ghosts. Like you can keep a chip of dry ice in your pocket and like it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it'll make the cloth cold, whatever. But if you keep a chip of dry ice in your pocket and then you put a couple pennies in your pocket and you press the pennies together against the dry ice and it'll whistle.
What?
Because the pennies are warm and so the carbon dioxide is escaping. So it'll make a whistling sound. And then you can take your hand out of your pockets and all of a sudden everybody heard a whistle. One of the things, it's closed now and gone, but one of the ways that they were faking with dry ice at this location was they would take a plastic water bottle, like a regular 16-ounce water bottle, and they would crumple up the water bottle and they would put dry ice inside and then cap it, and then they'd throw the water bottle somewhere. Well, as the dry ice is evaporating, it's creating carbon dioxide, so it's inflating the plastic bottle. So you would randomly start to hear the bottle uncrinkling, the plastic would go, and you couldn't tell where it was coming from because the bottle was just somewhere. So it sounded like once you realized, oh, the bottle's starting to make sound, that's when you can start to say, like, can you do that again? And it seemed like it was doing it.
Dang, people are shoisty.
People are sketchy for sure.
Nobody do this. Don't fuck with dry ice and don't fuck with people. I always feel like that would be a good ass way to get haunted. Like go somewhere that's actually haunted, make a fake haunting, and then see what you leave with.
It's probably not a great idea.
Bad idea.
I have almost completely rebuilt the Weird Lectures website.
Oh, I went to it the other day. It looks good.
Thank you. In the past 2 weeks, I think I have added 30 stories, and I only have about 90 to 100 more to do.
I was telling you the other day that Wisconsin wants us to come back already and do a thing. So we have to go back to Wisconsin, and then you're supposed to do a talk at the Buckland Witchcraft Museum.
Yep.
And then we're supposed to do an event at somewhere in Pennsylvania. So we're going to get on the road sometime. And if people want to see us somewhere, tell your event organizers.
Tell your event organizers to contact Jessica.
Yeah, because I'm the one that answers shit. I like how somebody on Twitter last night or the night before called me the brains of the operation, and you like didn't even fight it.
Nope. Let it go.
I know at first I thought it was an insult. It was one of the other day when he said something nice and I go, hey. And then I was like, wait, that was nice. Like when I first read it, I don't know what I thought, but I thought he was calling you the brains of the operation. I'm like, wait. And then I'd read it again. Everybody's got to get over Rona first because I had another cancellation today. Every single person on earth is canceling their appointments because everybody has Rona.
I got my 4 free tests in the mail. If you were getting mail, if you had shoveled your walk, you might have gotten them by now.
Well, listen, I shoveled last night and then I coughed for like a half an hour. And then I did get mail today. But listen, I feel like I only got the mail from like today. I didn't get like all the backlog of mail. Do you think they'll bring it tomorrow?
Is today different from today?
No, that's like emphasis.
Oh, okay. Did today sing the song Chocolate Rain? Oh, no, that was Tazon Day.
Who the fuck is that?
You don't remember Chocolate Rain?
Was that an internet thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember. You know what I'm drinking right now? I'm drinking gin and ginger ale, which is not great, but then I made it in the kitchen, and then you know when you fill it too high and I blooped some on the ground like a little drop, and fucking Toady licked it, and he was not happy. Like gin, he was like, nope.
I'm drinking a Pinot Grigio.
Ooh, fancy.
Very fancy. I thought to myself, just for a fraction of a second, that I might have a problem, because when I was pouring this glass of wine, I thought to myself, just really quickly, it just ran through my head. I thought, there's so many bottles of wine that I'll never drink.
In the world?
Yeah.
You're a freak.
And I was like, do I have a problem?
See, I think that about, like, I literally have a fear about my deathbed that I will think of all the movies and books that I didn't get to, or that I'm, like, really emotionally tied to a lot of my favorite movies, and there'll come a day where I'm, like, fucked, and I know I don't have long left, and be like, oh, I can't watch Good Will Hunting one more time, and it's gonna, like, break my heart.
I thought you were going to say, like, the finality of the end of your life, and at the last second, your thought is going to be just the picture of Steve's birthday cake from 90210.
It probably will be. Oh my God. No, I talked to Darcy the other day, and she said she met him before, and he's so fucking nice.
I told you I met him too because he was at Comic-Con with me, and him and Tara Reid were mad because my lecture was scheduled the same time as the Sharknado lecture, and no one showed up for the Sharknado speech.
That's sick. We got to go to some conventions. We are going to a mystery thing in like 2.5 weeks, and we're going to make a Patreon video, and it's going to be fucking ridiculous. It's going to be like ridiculous level of me trying to get the sheet off my car. But we're going to a place. We're going to a public location, and it's going to be ridiculous. And we're going to drink, and I'm going to put some weird outfit on.
Are you going to dress up for it?
I mean, I feel like we have to get into it, right?
I mean, I feel like I'm going to be the odd man out in a tie and a hat.
You could wear a t-shirt.
Shall I wear a baseball hat and a t-shirt?
You could wear... Do you have a trucker hat?
I do have a trucker hat.
Yeah. Get one. Do you have one with like an alien that says like...
It's probably... I've got a couple.
You need like an alien one, like, I got abducted in fucking Roswell, Mexico. Whatever, one of those.
It'll be fun.
It will be fun. I better get a hot fucking pretzel. I need a pretzel. I need a beer. Have to drink beer. I don't really like beer, but I'm going to have to drink
I am not going to drink a beer.
The Patreon video should drop on Sunday, February 27th. There's your heads up. If you're not a Patreon, you better get one. You better get to be one.
You better get to be one. And if you got a pet, you should get a stuffed animal from Original Sock Dogs. And if you're a coffee drinker, you should get some coffee from Old Town Routine.
People, everybody's getting our coffee. Actually, our signature coffee's out and everybody's buying it. But listen, I was thinking before we got on here that if I come get you and we go get snacks, I can give you the vegan peanut butter cups that came from Stacy.
Yes, then you should come and pick me up.
And I have to give you your notes back of your thing that you wrote and I drew all over.
Yeah.
I made some good adjustments.
All right, that's fine.
You'll be happy. I did a good job, I swear. I even I had friends on and I put it on mute just for you.
Ooh, wow.
Just so I could edit without distraction.
Next week, we have to do Patreon plants.
I don't think anybody wants to be plants. I think I just have to get a different bird book. Because that bird book, I feel like there's broader. I feel like there's more birds. I have other bird books. I'll just pick up a different one.
Okay.
But I don't want to repeat, and I don't remember what birds we gave.
I know. That's why I'm saying we have to switch to something different.
I'll see what books I have.
We have to do Plantreons.
Plantreon. I know I like the Plantreons. Why don't they want them? We can do whatever we want.
What about dinosaurs?
No, that's too hard to say. The plants are going to be just as hard to say.
All you've got down is Brontosaurus. The rest are chuck them up for a loss.
Diplodocus.
Is that your new made-up dinosaur?
That's a real dinosaur.
It is?
Yes.
No, it sounds made up. It sounds made up.
You sound made up and wasted.
It's that Pinot Grigio.
That Pinot Grigio. What the fuck? What when I listen, like just now when I was trying to tell you that I put friends on mute to edit your thing, it was an episode with John Lovitz on it. And what does he say on there? Tartlet. Where he's like, tartlet. He's like, the word has lost all meaning. Do you remember that?
No, tartlet?
Yeah, he's like a food critic, but Phoebe accidentally gets him high, and then Monica gives him some kind of tartlets, and then he goes, tartlet. Tartlet. The word has lost all meaning because he's high.
I had no idea of what that episode is.
Okay, well, I'm going to show it to you. We'll see it in a hotel eventually. We've seen every other episode. But anyway, another thing that I did this week, speaking of fucking dinosaurs, this is what sparked it. This movie used to be on cable, I feel like literally every weekend when I was a little kid, and I would watch it, and I don't know why. I was fucking obsessed with this movie, right? Do you remember that movie Clifford with Charles Grodin and Martin Short?
I kind of remember it, yes. Does Martin Short play Clifford?
Yes, he's like a weird little boy and he's obsessed with dinosaurs, but he's like insane.
Yeah, I think I do remember that, yes.
Bro, it's one of those movies where like you left it in your brain and then when it comes back out, it's a horrible movie. It's really fucking twisted. I don't even know how somebody came up with that movie, but then it gets to the part, he does all this mean stuff to Charles Grodin because Charles Grodin won't bring him to Dinosaur World, whatever. So then he finally, towards the end of the movie, he's like, well, I'll bring you there and I'm going to fucking kill you, was his plan. And it's so, like, I don't know what their budget was. They, like, made a whole dinosaur attraction with, like, a little train car or, like, a little roller coaster car that's a stegosaurus. And it falls in there's a real big dinosaur that comes out. I can't even imagine how much it costs.
I don't care what anyone says in the world, but one of my projects this year is I'm going to release a book of movies as described by Jessica.
I will literally sit there and describe every movie I've ever seen.
I'm just going to go through every episode of What's Up Weirdo, and I'm going to do movies and television as described by Jessica. And I'm going to write them exactly how you describe them in the podcasts.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. It is.
I just love listening to you. I love listening to you describe movies because I can hear in your voice that you know how terrible it sounds.
I know, because I'm excited, and then I say stuff out of order, and then I don't know. I can like see frames in my head, but then the words don't come out right, but they sound good. I'm sorry. Trust me, my synopsis of Clifford is better than the movie.
I'm sure it is.
It's insane. Yeah, Martin Short's like 55 and he's playing an 8-year-old.
Don't you remember? That was a big thing though. Like, do you remember Mad TV, like Stewart?
Yes, that's what it's like. Only, it's
there was this
like
that whole thing where it was like grown people acting like children was like the big funniest thing that you could ever do.
Yes, that's what it was. And then the lady, what's her, Mary Steenburgen, I think it's her name. She plays the girlfriend.
She's actually a good actress.
I know, I like her. She's cute in everything. Like, you would want her to be your stepmom.
Not your mom.
See, the synopsis of this episode is going to be like, we say really mean stuff about Joel McHale and we say really nice things about Mary Steenburgen. People are going to read it and go, oh, who the fuck are they talking about?
The most topical podcast online.
Now trending on Twitter. The movie Clifford from 1991 or whatever the fuck.
It's as bad as me talking when you called and I was like, I'm watching Gold Diggers of 1933.
You have no idea. I'm like, good for you. It's always funny too because you say I'm watching a Blu-ray of this movie that in their greatest wildest dreams they could never imagine it ever ending up on a format like a Blu-ray.
No, they barely had television when it was made.
No, they're just like, someday our movie's going to be on a little spaceship.
People are going to carry little spaceships in their pocket.
Oh my God. Ooh, good times.
Anything? Do you have anything to do this week?
I have to work. I have to watch the fights on Saturday. Oh, Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah.
We should watch the Super Bowl together.
Are they doing what? Do we know who's playing the halftime show?
Yeah, it's fucking Eminem and Dr. Dre and and do you know the Detroit rapper who's deaf?
I don't.
He's cute. All these when I bartended, there's a little crew, like they all were like homies because they were all either slightly or all the way deaf, and they would come into Imperial all the time and they were sick as fuck. They would write stuff on their phone and show it to me and like always drink the same stuff and like they were dope. We like saw them every fucking day. Well, one of their homies was this Sean kid and he would come in all the time, and then he like in the last few years like became a famous rapper, and he's fucking
Sean Forbes.
Yeah, Sean Forbes. He's like a Ferndale like regular. All of us know him, and he's playing the fucking Super Bowl halftime show with Eminem and Dr. Dre. It's like a really big deal.
Well, I'll watch the halftime show.
Yeah.
And I'll watch Puppy Bowl.
Oh yeah, I want to watch it. But I was thinking we could maybe just hang out and drink on Zoom with our pates and just because we're not fucking interested in the game really. And who's not going to be parked at home? Everybody's going to be parked at home.
Yeah, but I mean a Super Bowl game lasts what, like 6 or 7 hours?
No, it's from like 4 to 8.
Ugh, 4 hours of sports.
Fine. Whatever.
I'll go on during the halftime show.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, it's only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, maybe we'll just do that because then everybody will know what time to meet. They'll be like, yo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that.
Okay,
let's do that. Let's plan that.
Come get snacks.
All right, let's go get motherfucking slurps.
Ooh, slurps sounds good.
No, I need a slurp.
Okay.
All right, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Okay, bye. Bye, Toad. Bye, Toad. Bye, Toady.
Finally quiet and we're done.
Bye, Toady.
Oh, you want to go for a drive? Do you want to go for a drive?